Our first speaker is John Feal. John is an Army vet and a demolition supervisor, and was involved in recovery operations at Ground Zero and was gravely injured. John took his pain and turned it into action, and he's got a great story to tell you about establishing the Feel Good Foundation. John, thank you. Delighted to have you with us.
Asbestos is bad. Have a good day. I'm kidding. That was from Michael Barish up top. Linda told me to tell my personal story, but then it doesn't cover what we need to cover. Before 9/11, I did demolition for years, and the amount of asbestos that we saw and worked through, I'm shocked that I don't even have it yet. And my time at Ground Zero, I believe the latency period is 10 to 50 years on asbestos. We're going on year 25 after this one. And I think while we're fighting all of the cancers from 9/11, I think asbestos over the next several years is going to yield its ugly face, and we're going to be fighting another devil. And it's the great work of Linda and her board and the ADAO that are going to lead the charge. But you can bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to be side by side with Linda leading that charge. I know every square inch of Washington, D.C. I know every elected official, and we're going to make their life a living hell in the name of humanity. My story pales in comparison to those who are sick and dying. My story pales in comparison. It's tiny, it's minute to those who have suffered and those who have passed away. But I don't know about you, Linda. I had an epiphany, and mine happened in 2004, about a year after I started advocating. And it was right when my mother was diagnosed with cancer. I just had a 7-hour surgery on my left foot to learn how to walk again. And I was kind of like feeling sorry for myself, like boo-hoo, poor me. And by that time, I was already diagnosed by 4 doctors with post-traumatic. They told me I was batshit crazy, disruptive, mood swings. Michael seen it all in the office. But then I went to McDonald's. Don't judge me. But I'm a health nut now and I don't eat McDonald's. But it was a number 2 with a Diet Coke. And it was around 1:30 in the afternoon. And I'm sitting there by myself pondering life. What am I going to do? Do I really want to do what I'm doing? There was no joy in it. There was no paycheck in it. And it was just me alone. So while I'm sitting in there, McDonald's, in an empty McDonald's, in walks a father with his 2 daughters. One daughter was completely normal, and the other daughter was severely handicapped. And they're waiting online to get their order. And now I'm sitting there by myself. I already finished my number 2, which is 2 cheeseburgers. And I'm sitting there, and I said, please don't sit next to me. Please don't sit next to me. The place is empty. And they sat a table over from me. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And while I'm sitting there and I'm watching them, the father didn't treat the handicapped girl any different than the daughter. But the handicapped girl was past handicap. There was no sentences. It was only grunts and noises. And father opened up the Happy Meal for both of them. But to watch this girl put a French fry in her mouth was like an Olympic event. To watch her get her mouth over her straw was the most rewarding thing I ever watched. I'm saying to myself, I'm a little bitch. I'm sitting here feeling sorry for myself, and this girl was born without a choice. And she was loving life, enjoying that moment with her sister and her father. And it gave me a newfound responsibility to not only be a better man, but to ensure that I do the best I can when I advocate and activate for the masses. And ever since then, I try not to complain, but we're human beings and we complain. It's too hot, it's too cold. But I'll always put others before myself, and I make sure that I'll put Linda before myself. I've seen too many people suffer. I don't understand, and I'm probably the least educated person in this room. Graduated high school, went into the United States Army, graduated from the Army, did construction my whole life, and became the world's biggest pain in the butt. That's what I do for a living. I fight Congress for the masses who can never pay me back other than live. The doctors, the scientists here today, we're your friends, we're your allies, and we need each other. An elected official is as good as the science they get. The doctor and the scientist who gives that elected official is as good as the activist and the advocate. And when all three can work together without ego, without an agenda, then the masses do a lot better. But as soon as there's a break in the communication or an ego gets in the way, people will suffer. Linda, I'm here to make sure the ADAO continues its mission. And I will make sure that anybody who has an ego, I'm going to crush it for them. And I'm going to make sure whoever ignores you, that they listen to you. Because I have that kind of power now. I can call anybody in Washington, D.C. and get a meeting. It doesn't matter who it is. I can make sure that the ADAO is successful moving forward so we can rid this horrible disease. Thank you.